Okay, ladies and gentlemen, even more bad news for passport bros going to Medellin who are looking for that easy kitty, if you know what I'm trying to say. This is hot off the press. This is breaking news that the mayor's office has put on two, I guess, bans or restrictions aimed at combating Americans going down there for prepaid women, for a quick, sure, easy thing, if you catch my drift. So this happened as of yesterday, and the two measures he did are, one, he put a curfew in the El Poblado sector. That's like, I don't know, the nice like going out, like bars, nightclubs, restaurants area in Medellin, the rich, the bougie area. And he also kicked all the hookahs, all the prepaid women out of Parque Lleras. Parque Lleras is a little tiny park in the center of the, I don't know, Zona Rosa El Poblado area. That's just full of prepaid women ready to take care of you if you take care of them. So I'm going to go into it, and it's in typical Colombia fashion, Medellin fashion, in terms of it's very Colombia-centric, very Colombian citizen-centric, very low IQ. It's not going to really do anything. It's all for show. The citizens of Medellin are pretty much fed up with gringos. They don't like Americans. It's been completely gentrified. The cost of living there is probably about triple, at least in like rent. Like I don't think like the cost of food or like restaurants has per se tripled, but the cost of rent and some other things has doubled or tripled over the last 10 years due to the influx of gringos. And the people of Medellin, I mean, not to go too far off on a tangent, they've been isolated by mountains geographically for 400 years. They just don't like outsiders. They don't like people coming there, even from other parts of Colombia. So what this mentions is they mention all the sex workers. They talk about how so many of them are underage. They say, I'm reading the article from El Colombiano. It's in Spanish, but I'm translating it for you guys in English. It's saying that, it's aimed at these two measures again, which is kicking all the hookahs out of Parque Lleras and putting a 1 a.m. curfew on the area, is aimed at American citizens who are targeting girls as young as 12 and 13 years old. I believe that there actually was a case. This is extremely exaggerated. If you walk around this area, you do see some young girls. I'm not going to deny that, but the vast majority of them are not underage. They're, 22, 23, 24. And the whole thing is aimed as putting Colombia as the victim of all this. They want to reclaim their spaces and protect their youth and aim to, I'm trying to translate this as best I can from Spanish. They're basically saying they don't like the reputation of the narco culture, the sexual tourism of the city. They don't like the fact that Medellin is known as this worldwide brothel for people to go and get their rocks off, which is kind of funny. If you build Disneyland and people come to Disneyland looking for Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck, then how are you gonna complain that you're so upset that people are coming to Disneyland looking for Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck? Like you built that. You built these open air brothels. They literally invented a new drug. That's how much they love drugs down there. It's called Tusi, Tusi. It's like this pink powder that's a combination of ecstasy and ketamine, and then maybe 6 or 7 other chemicals. Could have fentanyl, could have acid, could have any number of synthetic like Chinese chemicals. So they're literally inventing new drugs. They literally have about, and I know I'm gonna get roasted in the comments, but just believe me, this is true. I lived there for, 7 years, rough, or like on and off for about 7 years. They have 80% of their women involved in some form of sex work, OnlyFans, webcam modeling, outright prostitution. They created this system, yet, it's all aimed as them as being the victims and stuff. And there's absolutely nothing mentioned here about the fact that 1 in 16 male tourists, which is a real statistic, gets drugged and robbed in some way. Drugged or robbed or both. 1 in 16 male tourists. There's nothing about that. There's absolutely zero mention of that or empathy or, aim at, protecting, American citizens from themselves. There is absolutely no mention of the all the deaths there as well. So it's not just getting drugged and robbed and like surviving, but I believe in the last 90 days, there's got to be going on at least 25 to 30 deaths of foreigners. About 15 deaths of Americans in, like, just Americans. Now, if you include Canadian, British, German, whatever, it would include a lot more. And I put out a previous video on here. There's also been some restrictions on Airbnbs. And you're just going to, in general, see things tightening up a bit there. I'm just trying to scan the article for what else I can find. You know, I've talked about this before. I think Medellin, I think you're just absolutely a simp or weirdo, pathetic if you're still going there looking for dating. You know, I don't be judgmental. Look, for all you guys who want to, just, you know, spend some money, get a sure thing from a girl, whatever, that's not what I talk about on this channel. That's not, you know, what this channel is about. If you want to do that, do that. I'm not here to judge you. I'm not here to support it or give any advice on it either. I'm just going to be completely impartial on that. But first of all, there's other cities and other places you can do it. And to go to Medellin for dating, I don't get it why people they don't seem to understand that there's other cities and other countries in the world besides, you know, Medellin, Colombia. If you want to go to Colombia, go to Bucaramanga. Bucaramanga is like the other Medellin, depending how you want to pronounce it. It's actually, there's really nothing like it. When I say it's like similar looking people, because, like, you know, the very features are called Paisa features, the people of Medellin. They would look similar, but they would have a much greater reduced, like, anti-foreigner sentiment, meaning they'd be more accepting of foreigners there. A much lower rate of sex work and prostitution amongst the women, fewer drugs, women with, you know, better morals and values. You're still going to get the unburdened by deep thoughts effect of Colombia. That's something that you will never escape that in Colombia. It's a country of people that are very unburdened by deep thoughts. They don't have a lot of trouble being, you know, present to the moment. They're not burdened by you know what I'm trying to say. So, you know, I recommend Brazil. I live in Brazil. Some of you guys watch this channel already know that. And listen, if you want to come down here for whatever prepaid stuff, I don't condone it. I don't support it. But I'm just saying you could find that here. Again, I'm not saying come here and do that by any means. I'm just saying, like, because you go to these Passport Bros Facebook groups and that's pretty much all they talk about. But I would say come to Brazil and actually just date normally. You know, save your money. Don't come to Brazil looking for, you know, prepaid girls. And the dating here is amazing. The women are smart. There's no anti-gringo attitude. There's always like a couple bad apples, right? But for the most part, you're not dealing with this, you know, 60, 70, 80% of people who, you know, are nice to your face, smile to your face, but absolutely, you know, loathe you and talk shit behind your back, rob you, drug you. Rio de Janeiro can be a little bit dangerous. I've heard of some foreigners getting drugged out there. Rio's kind of its own thing. I've never heard in almost a year, going on a year now, in Sao Paulo of someone being drugged or robbed. I've never gone out with a girl and then she expects that I'm like paying her rent or like owe her money for going out with her. Take that back. One girl, this was also in Rio, like asked me for money before our date. She kind of like demanded that I buy her a dress like before our date. That was a one-off thing. Other than that, I've never had a Brazilian girl treat me like a gold digger. I've never been, you know, harshly discriminated against for being a gringo here. And, you know, the writing's on the wall. This would be like watching, you know, a company that makes maps when GPSs come out, watching their stock just like, this is what, like, this, like, Medellin, you know, could have been great 2006, 7, 8, 9, 10. Again, they always had a little bit of anti-foreigner attitude, but you guys got to understand, people who can see around corners and kind of predict the future here are going to be people who win long term. And I know it's hot on social media. I know you saw it on TikTok. I know that all the people talk about it. But that's kind of the reason why you don't want to go to Medellin. You want to go, you know, if you're going overseas for dating, the whole point is to maximize the gringo wow factor, or, you know, your American advantage, whatever you want to call it. And, you know, avoid places where dating is difficult for whatever reason, right? So just wanted to give you guys a quick update on that. Let's see if there's, I'm just scanning the article. Apparently they're only doing this for 6 months, which again, just shows the go that or just goes to show that they're only doing this for show. It's not really gonna change anything. If anybody's on the ground in Medellin and wants to leave a comment, I bet you there's still hookahs, you know, tonight. I bet you they're gonna be out there. So if anyone wants to, you know, comment like, yeah, you know, I saw them, they'll probably be strict for like the first week and then give it up. But apparently this curfew is only going for 6 months, and this like ban on hookahs in Lleras, I don't know if Parque Lleras, the main area where guys go out to get them, I don't know if that's gonna last. But again, all they talk about is they're the victim, you know, child exploitation. They just give these fake statistics on, you know, child exploitation. You know, it's really sad when it does occur, but you don't need to lie about it and stuff like that. Like they're claiming in this article, I have other articles too from other websites, but they're claiming that like half the girls out there in Parque Lleras were underage. That's just completely and utterly false. Just completely and utterly lies. I lived there for 7 years. You walk around, you very rarely see girls that are obviously extremely underage. And if they are, you know, the police very often, you know, ask for their ID and kick them out. And it's, you know, somewhat regulated. And zero mention of how they're just killing foreigners for sport out there. Literally just none. Doesn't say anything about that. All, you know, Colombia centric. It's a Colombia problem. You know, they're the victim. Like I said, you build Disneyland in the heart of your country, and then you get upset when your country has a reputation for having Disneyland in it. Like you literally built these brothels, you built this reputation, you invented new drugs. It's just a typical low IQ thing. Yeah, guys, don't go to Medellin. Go to Bucaramanga, go to Barranquilla, go to random cities, Santa Marta, maybe even Sincelejo, random small cities. Or just, you know, come to Brazil or other cities. Mexico, I've heard Guadalajara is really good. But if you're a passport bro and you're looking for a better dating life, Medellin ain't it. Now, a word from our sponsors. I just put out a free guide. I call it my dirty guide to getting matches on dating apps. It's the best thing ever. It's better than most of these, you know, so-called dating coaches paid courses. It's free. Go to my Instagram, which is RedbeardRants1. There's a link in the description of this video. At the very top of this video, there'll be a link. And just message me the word dirty right on my Instagram. Just DRTY, nothing else. Don't message me dirty. By the way, I like just one word, dirty. And I will send you the guide for free. Okay, our sponsors have spoken, and that's all I got for you guys. Peace.